Community connection for the vision impaired. Since January this year, the Diary's editorial team has been producing high-quality audio recordings of all articles printed in both the Warrandyte Diary and Manningham and Nillumbik Bulletin. JOZICA Kutin spoke to 2 local residents who are now able to enjoy the diary despite vision impairments.
Grabbing a copy of the diary each month is part of being and living in Warrandyte. But what happens when you can no longer read print? What happens when you can no longer read your beloved copy of the diary? The Lions Club of Warrandyte funded a project this year to create an audio version of all articles in the diary and the Manningham and Nillumbik Bulletin to improve access for people with vision impairment or print disability. Local resident Carol Addis has been reading the diary ever since she moved to Warrandyte.
Well, probably from the beginning. We moved here into our new home in 1969. So I don't know when it started, but we've been reading it since then, if it was around then. I used to read the diary more or less from cover to cover. It's a very good paper.
However, in recent years, Carol has developed macular degeneration and has lost all but a tiny amount of vision in her right eye. Carol's vision impairment has had a significant impact on her day-to-day life.
I have peripheral vision in both eyes, which allows me to see shapes, people, colours, things, go for a walk, see cars, but I can't see details, and it's been a couple of years or more since I was able to read print.
Carol now relies on her husband Alf to read sections of the diary to her, but given her use of audiobooks from Vision Australia, she was keen to know more about the audio versions of the diary, the podcast or audio editions. We navigate to the Apple Podcast app on her phone and start playing one of last month's articles titled Art to Art, Tony Mellon, Sculptor. Immediately on hearing the article, Carol's face lights up and she smiles as she listens.
My job, working as a project manager for NGOs and other aid organisations,
Is that his real voice?
I've often stayed in room.
It didn't sound like a real voice. It's too good.
In fact, it was read by the diary's editors. We start to listen to the next article by Carly Lunt, read by one of the diary's volunteer readers from the Warrandyte Arts Association. Again, Carol notes the quality of the narration, and there is a clear sense that now she not need miss out on the diary anymore.
It was good. It was telling me what was written in the diary.
Tony, another long-time Warrandyte resident, is also experiencing worsening vision. He is no longer able to read the paper version, and accessing the digital version of the diary is becoming increasingly difficult. Some weeks ago, I told Tony about the audio versions on the Warrandyte Diary webpage and asked what he thought of it. Tony said,
"Well, I found them very helpful. It saved me struggling around trying to read them, and they were very clear, and they were good, well read."
The recent Australian Eye and Ear Health Survey found that 5% of Australians have bilateral vision impairment, that is, loss of vision in both eyes. But when we look at the data for people over 80 years of age, vision loss in both eyes is at its peak, 19.6% for Indigenous Australians and 11.7% for non-Indigenous adults. All editions of the 2025 Warrandyte Diary and Manningham and Nillumbik Bulletin are now in audio format. All in all, about 800 articles. The articles are read by Rebecca Rose, Diary Office and Advertising Manager, who also has credits as a film and stage performer. The diary editors, Sandy Miller and James Poyner, volunteers from the Warrandyte Arts Association, Adrian and Hazel Rice, and sometimes the authors themselves, in a professional recording studio. I asked both Tony and Carol what could be done to improve access to this resource. Tony said,
I would never have found out about them had it not been for the fact that you told me about them. So I had no idea. And I suppose if it was publicised in the diary that these things were available, then the information, even had I not read it, somebody would have told me about it. Probably, yes.
Carol was equally enthusiastic about getting the word out.
Well, I think they need to have a big leaflet inside the diary with big writing to attract people's attention, and how to do it, how to set it up on your phone. I think rather than write a paragraph or something, which is overlooked, if you want people to use it, know it's there, then it needs to be like a full page with big writing, not very much of it either.
The funding from the Lions Club of Warrandyte has been instrumental in creating the high-quality audio versions of the diary and MNN Bulletin. More funding is being sought to continue the recordings, but to also improve the visual accessibility of the diary webpage and developing the program to facilitate uptake and use of the audio diary for people with vision impairment. Losing eyesight and losing access to the diary can lead to a loss of connection with our local community and exacerbate isolation. The audio version of the diary goes some way to keeping people connected to what's happening in our great community. You can access the audio editions through the diary website. Select Audio Editions from the menu, or directly through SoundCloud, YouTube, Podcast Addict, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Apple Podcasts. Just search Reading of the Manningham and Nillumbik Bulletin or Reading of the Warrandyte Diary articles. If you would like to know more about the audio version, would like to volunteer to read, or coach a vision-impaired person to access the site, please contact the editors via email at editor@warrandytediary.com.au.
This article was read by Rebecca Rose,
Sandy Miller.